Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris here, and I'm going to give you my review of the Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary 4K Blu-ray set. This is one that I didn't even know was coming out. I just happened to be browsing Amazon, looking at new 4K releases, and Amazon, knowing me as well as it does, recommended, hey, there's a new 30th Anniversary JP set on the way, and so I pre-ordered this, and it got here, I think, about a week ago, something like that, and I finally got around to watching it. And actually, this is just the disc, right? So you've got the disc, but you've actually got a whole sort of package here with a couple of different items, and I'll show you what comes with this, including the artwork on the cover. But one of my favorite movies ever made. This is in my top five, and there's actually three Steven Spielberg movies in my top five. It's Jurassic Park, it's Jaws, and it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. But in terms of movies that I've seen the most in my life, this has got to be up there. Like, I had the VHS of this. Myself and my friend Michael, if you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We each had a copy of this. We probably watched this on VHS, I don't know, hundreds of times. Like, it was a lot. I'm not sure how many exactly it would have been, but to the point to where my VHS got warped. So, you know, when people have those sort of running jokes on Twitter and other places about, oh, you know, which movie do you think you could quote from start to finish? For me, Jurassic Park's probably the one. There are some other movies that are up there for sure, but this is at the top of that list as well. So anyway, let me show you the contents. Let me jump right into it. And I'll also give you the opinion of my 12-year-old who watched this for the first time tonight. So this was kind of a cool moment to share this film with him, one of my favorite films. It's one of those movies that I thought, you know, he could probably watch a little bit earlier, but he wanted to finally sit down and watch it, and he really enjoyed it a lot. But anyway, let's talk about this disc. Hey, as always, if you're enjoying the content, please do me a favor. Please be sure to give this a thumbs up. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. My goal this year is to hit 1,000 subscribers. That's been my goal for the past little while, but hopefully this will be the year that it happens. But as always, I very much appreciate your viewership. So I think the first thing to start with here is the box art of this. I think that this box art is pretty cool, though there are some pieces of the art that I think, I wouldn't say look wonky, but just look a little bit not as great as maybe they could have. But I like the images they've chosen for this. You've got Malcolm with the flare, making that mistake that he does. You've got kind of the classic Grant shot where he says, Ian, freeze, you know, all of that. You got Sam Jackson, hold on to your butts. You got the Velociraptor. You've got all kinds of cool stuff here. I think that Laura Dern and John Hammond look a little bit interesting in this. I mean, I can kind of show you up close sort of the, you know, what this looks like. The art there's just a little bit weird, but overall I do like it. I like that it's got this embossed kind of raised image of the logo from the film. And actually, this thing that's on the back just sort of lifts up, and I didn't take it all the way off yet, but you can see it gives you sort of a preview of the contents, but it's also got sort of the gate. I think that's awesome. Actually, I think this would have been a better cover for the front. Actually, I think this looks really cool. I like simplistic kind of designs like this. This is why I like steelbooks a lot too, because they really do a good job with those. But anyway, you can see all the contents on the back. And I'll go through each one of those here in a good bit of detail. But overall, a great design for the box. I think it looks really cool. The actual cover for the Blu-ray disc set itself looks really nice too. And then when you open it up, you've got the 4K Blu-ray and then the standard Blu-ray versions of the movie included here. It also does include a download code. I almost forgot to mention that. I don't usually take advantage of those. I need to start doing that before these things expire, but it does have a download code also. One of the really cool things that this came with is a replica film cell, so it's probably going to be kind of tough to see. I'm seeing if it's going to shine through. I think the glare is making it a little bit tough, but it's a cell from the film at the end of the movie where the When Dinosaurs Rule the Earth banner is falling down and the T-Rex is roaring. But it's kind of a cool thing, and what's nice about it is you can sort of pop it up and stand it up as a display if you want to do that. So it's got some information in the back about the original theatrical release. It was released on June 11th, 1993, so I would have been 11 years old. This is one of the most amazing in the movie theater experiences I've ever had. My whole family went and saw it. As best I can remember, it was pretty much a sold-out showing. We saw it kind of in the mid to late afternoon on a Saturday, and I was just completely absorbed in it. Like, I did love movies at that point. Jurassic Park is one of the movies that I can credit with just my overall love of film. Like, I think it's a perfectly made movie. There's just nothing here that I think is off base in terms of directing, in terms of the score, just the acting, everything. The casting is just perfect. But anyway, amazing film going experience. And this little thing here, this little prop, is kind of a nice piece to have for a collection for anybody who's a Jurassic Park fan. One thing that I didn't know is that I guess this is sort of a limited thing. So mine is number 226 of 5,000. It's got a certificate of authenticity with it. It says this limited edition product has been created in celebration of Jurassic Park, inspired by the film 65 million years in the making. This exclusive gift set includes X, Y, and Z. But kind of a cool little thing to go with it. You know, Again, I don't know that it's really that limited, but I guess that it is based on this, what I'm seeing. So I'm curious on Amazon and other places how many of these have actually sold and how many people have different, versions of this or the different numbers of this, I should say. It actually comes with kind of a postcard set too. This is still sealed. I don't really want to open this necessarily. Not that I'm going to, resell this. I don't know why I wouldn't open it. You know what? I'm going to open it. We're sitting here doing this thing. I'm going to open it. I want to see what these different cards look like. All right, after a little bit of elbow grease, I got these things open. You've got a Tyrannosaurus print. This is super cool. I kind of wonder if I could get like some double-sided stuff that wouldn't damage this because it's got kind of a glossy finish to it and just put them up around my sort of office/man room here. I think that would be super cool. I like too that it's got kind of that JP logo on the back. So you've got one, they've all got that, yeah. One with the Tyrannosaurus, one with the Brachiosaurus, one with the Triceratops. Super cool scene with Laura Dern and the doctor that's working there, and one with the Dilophosaurus. So yeah, super cool little additions to this. And then to me, really one of the coolest things here is it comes with a little book, right? And it talks about the making of the movie, just sort of everything involved with the concept art, how they set things up with different shots, Steven Spielberg's involvement. They give you some pieces of trivia here too, and honestly, as a massive Jurassic Park fan, most of this stuff I was already aware of it. And so you can see, for example, when you're looking at some of these bullet points here about Alan Grant, it says Harrison Ford was reportedly the original choice to play Dr. Grant. I'm guessing they went with somebody else because how many times can you have Harrison Ford in a fedora saving people? But, Sam Neill's perfect in this movie. He couldn't have been better cast. So the contents of this are super cool, but let's talk about the actual transfer and how it looks. Popped this into my 4K Blu-ray player again, watched it here on my 4K television in my sort of man room office with my son. Both really enjoyed it, and he, again, loved the experience of it. I think going into it, he had built it up in his head as this like super terrifying thing, and I could tell there were a couple of moments where he was like, whoa, this is like pretty intense, but it didn't scare him or terrify him to the point of like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. He just really found it entertaining. He loved the effects. And again, this movie came out in 1993, so 30 years ago, and he's sitting there saying, wow, this is really good CGI. Like, there's something about the use of CGI in this film, I think combined with animatronics and just the lighting and how infrequently it's used, that makes this really hold up well over the decades, especially in comparison to some recent films that have used CGI. Like, I look at some recent movies I've seen and I don't understand how things have regressed with the use of that. And I think again, the key element there is using it sparingly. And Spielberg wisely did that given that it was a brand new medium at that point. But anyway, he enjoyed the movie. The look of the movie on this disc is very good. There are some moments in it where it looks a little bit washed out. It's got a little bit of the film grain, which I like. I want to see that preserved in a film like this. But I think the colors are a little bit washed out at times. The sound is great. There are at times some dark levels where things look a little bit too dark to me, but not overly so. But this is the best resolution, clearly, version of this film that I have. I also have it on DVD. I, for whatever reason, never did get it on Blu-ray. Like, even though it's one of my films, I never got it when it came out on Blu-ray. It's one of those things, too, where I didn't really want the box set because I like Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and I even like Jurassic Park 3, and I like Jurassic World, but after that, it gets a little dicey. Like, Fallen Kingdom is okay to me. I did not like Dominion. I thought that was a total waste of those characters. I didn't like the conclusion. So I didn't really want the box set. I just wanted this film in high resolution. And so when I saw this 30th anniversary set was coming out, I sprung for it. But I think the transfer is very good. I wouldn't say that it's amazing, though. Like, I have some other 4K discs that just look superbly great, right? And part of that is because they were filmed more recently, I'm sure, and are designed for 4K televisions and 4K viewing. So things like The Batman, Dune, offerings like that look amazing. This looks very good, and maybe, it is probably one of the better transfers out there, but it didn't blow me away in comparison to some of the more recent films. But it's the best version of this film that I own and that I've seen. So take that for what it's worth. So anyway, am I glad that I paid whatever I did for this? I think it was like $35, something like that. Yeah, totally. I mean, this is an awesome version of this film, which I will continue to watch. I watch it at least once a year. It's that important to me, and it's that great of a movie. So glad to own it. But if you got this 30th anniversary collector's edition version of this, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching.